Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo is rushing to get Diddy out on bail after Usher announced that he was going to testify against Diddy. Reports of Usher allegedly being the second person named in connection to Diddy in Lil Rod's lawsuit have come out, and Usher is panicking.
He talks locking women in a freak-out party and resurface clip.
A lot of ladies drink water at parties. They just, you know, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Everybody in the music industry and everybody in Hollywood knew about this. I knew about this guy when I was in Hollywood, and there's some other people that I know that have these type of parties. I don't know about the cameras. Usher deleted his Twitter account or took everything down. He deleted a bunch of, I think 7,000 tweets, and then came back a day later and he put account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it.
Let's see what people said, like if they bought it or not.
Okay, yeah. So crazy how it got hacked, but instead of posting crazy stuff, the hacker just deleted your post and Diddy got arrested. And then you got a video of Usher and Diddy in his bedroom with Kevin Hart.
My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented.
Yo, what the f did Puff just say?
Usher and Diddy have been working together ever since Usher was 13. Usher wanted to be famous, and his mom was prepared to do anything. In her own words, she didn't know Diddy, and she didn't know the industry, but she decided to send Usher to live with Diddy anyway, because she believed Diddy could turn Usher into a star. Usher was sent to live with Diddy at Puffy Flavor Camp, where Diddy allegedly introduced him to sex and took him to gay clubs.
The result of being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there, you got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We would fight, we would tussle.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. You know, shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, like, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause, but like, just out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the...
After being with Diddy, Usher's fame skyrocketed, and he won multiple Grammys. Diddy even joined in as the executive producer of Usher's first album, titled Usher. Unfortunately, Diddy pushed Usher into a lifestyle that eventually resulted in Usher contracting herpes and getting sued for spreading it. There were rumors that Usher was being controlled by Diddy, and Usher's fame was a result of the sexual favors he gave to Diddy.
Well, some documents have leaked about Usher. They were obtained by Radar Online, and apparently back in 2009 or 2010, he had contracted herpes and passed it on to a celebrity stylist having unprotected sex with her. He had to pay $1.1 million to that woman for severe emotional distress, and he also covered her medical bills. That case was settled back in 2012. Now, allegedly, there was a greenish discharge from his penis.
Whoa, that's a booger. You can get penis boogers? I didn't know that.
He said he went to the doctor. He was cleared of any STDs, so the woman went on and continued. Now, if I notice a greenish discharge oozing out of your penis.
Exactly. This ain't Nickelodeon.
I don't know that I would
ain't
continue.
slime.
What you gonna say,
I know all these kids playing with slime nowadays, but no.
I don't care who you are, okay?
Nothing green supposed to be coming out your penis.
Nah, not at all.
That's not how this works.
Nope.
Yellow comes out my penis and white. That's it.
I moved to New York City.
and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
what
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
The abuse that Diddy started with Usher didn't end there. Usher apparently managed Justin Bieber and gave Diddy access to him. At the time, Justin was 13, and he just joined the industry. At first, Usher wasn't even interested in Justin, but after he found out that Diddy was trying to get Justin, Usher signed him right away and gave Diddy legal guardianship of Justin.
I was flown out to Atlanta by a manager. His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio, and who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover. It rolls up, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And Scooter was like, "Yeah." And so I ran up to him and I was like, "Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one?" And he was like, "Let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out." So the politest possible way he could say no, he did. And I was like, wow, he just turned me down. And I was a little disappointed. He had to go into a studio session, so I was like, whatever. And a week later, he actually watched my videos with my manager and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I let him sing? So flew me back to Atlanta where I got to meet him again. And he wanted to sign me. But there was something else.
Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. It was like kind of like, what happened was Justin Timberlake and Usher both went into a ring and boxed it out. And the outcome was Usher. I think it was a TKO.
Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
Being with Diddy destroyed Justin Bieber, and it affects his relationships even today. After Diddy was sued and reports of his sexual abuse of minors came out, Justin Bieber stepped back from the spotlight because he knew that he was going to be brought up. Reports have come out now that Justin is worried about being called to testify against Diddy. And as a result of all this, his relationship with Hailey is on the verge of a divorce.
What the hell was going on between Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber? Well, he has addressed it. Fans noticed that he unfollowed his wife on Instagram. Also, this comes after he unfollowed Scooter Braun and Usher, his longtime mentor. Some fans think that this is all a marketing PR stunt, and it could be true because he's been pretty active on Instagram and even previewed a new song. Guys, what did we just listen to? Like, what was that? Others think he's distancing himself from people tied to controversies. Well, he addressed everything in this post and refollowed Hailey. He said, someone went on my account and unfollowed my wife. Shit is getting sus out here.
Justin even started crying during an interview about his past and said that he still feels shame about the things that he had to go through as a kid. Justin trusted Usher, and Usher betrayed him.
I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark, but I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully learn from it.
Well, for me, music comes from somewhere.
Right.
Maybe it comes from this youthful naivety and this desire to escape something. And then you get out there in front of the world, and then it comes from a place of wanting more of it.
Yeah. I mean, just think about how young I was and so impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, and I just want people to understand, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems in my life. So, yeah, thank you for being here and helping me tell that story. But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Do you realize how important the story is? Every time I have a conversation with someone who's been through this unique type of experience, I'm searching for some kind of truth that can help.
I commend you for going there and asking the tough questions and the things that people don't want to talk about, and they don't want to go there because it's revealing, and I want people to take a look at my story, and hopefully my words can make a difference.
Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, has confirmed the reports that Usher and Justin were abused by Diddy. Gene Deal says that everyone in the industry knew what Diddy was doing, and at times, even he saw Diddy behaving inappropriately with Usher and Justin. Diddy was so rough with Usher that Usher ended up having to go to the hospital. There are medical reports that align with Gene's story, and according to him, Diddy covered it all up.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when people say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp.
There's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. How is it that everyone in the industry knew what was happening to Usher and Justin, but their own parents didn't know? The reality is that their parents knew, but they just didn't care enough to make Diddy stop. They had millions coming into their bank accounts, and that's all they cared about. Usher's mom did try to sue Diddy later over what he did to Usher, but later settled out of court.
This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, didn't have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, you know, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of like suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and you know, they're making a lot of allegations.
Mm-hmm. Same way they made allegations about Usher. When Usher was younger.
I mean, do you think that there's any credibility to these allegations?
When there's smoke, there's fire. Why would Diddy be tapping his kid in his chest to see if he wired? And asking him, are you wired? Why would he be confronting that kid? Why would Justin Bieber make a song about, what is it? I got smashed at a Diddy party or something like that? Why? There's reasons behind all this. So where there's smoke, there's fire, Cam. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, Justin, he's been real quiet about this. I mean, I think like a lot of the other celebrities.
I was reading some, Cam, and the kids say after he went to Diddy camp, he started using drugs so heavy and was smashed every day. What would cause a kid who wanted to be an artist in the music business all of a sudden to start getting high and drinking and drugging, popping pills and smoking? What would cause a kid to do that?
I mean, usually trauma.
Or a Diddy party.
Now, the real reason why Usher and Justin Bieber are panicking is because of what the FBI has uncovered. Diddy recorded tapes of all of his sexual encounters, and he had tapes that showed both Justin and Usher in bed with him. Diddy was using these tapes to blackmail them into silence, but now these tapes are about to be released, and Usher is panicking. Courtney Burgess, CEO of Alter Ego Records, has come forward with 8 sex tapes, and he is ready to testify.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let me
be,
rephrase
right,
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
Lawyer Ariel Mitchell Kidd has also come forward and said that industry insiders are actually selling Diddy's tapes. She claims that someone actually reached out to her with a freak-off tape showing a certain celebrity. This tape was being sold for millions of dollars, and it's only one of many that are in FBI custody right now. Who is selling these tapes, and which celebrity was seen with Diddy?
Apparently, the grand jury felt the same way that I felt, because we've learned that Courtney Burgess has been summoned back to testify again next week. So it's a good time to bring in Ariel Mitchell, Courtney Burgess's attorney. You saw her sitting beside Courtney on the air. Hey, it's good to see you again, Ariel. Boy, this is becoming a frequent visit that you and I are having. So talk to me a little bit about Diddy's team's reaction, because man, did they ever... They went to town in those legal filings, and I could see, like, you and me talking throughout the filings. They didn't like it.
They were pretty pissed off, to say the least, very upset. And I would assume you'd be upset when you know the truth is coming out and the truth is continuing to come out, and somebody like Mr. Burgess is delivering that truth. Mr. Burgess actually told me that he believed that the purpose of that gag order letter that was written by Mark Agnifilo on November 3rd was because Diddy knew that it was Courtney who was bringing this information and said, well, he finally got me where he wants me. So we truly believe that not only Mark Agnifilo, but also Sean Combs is very much so aware that the things that Courtney has talked about and said he witnessed, and the things that were on the flash drives, including the book, as well as the other videos, were definitely of real events and things that had happened. And that is the last thing that Mr. Combs would like out about him, is these factual allegations of things that he has done and that he knows he's done.
I should make note that the book is purported to be Kim Porter's manuscript turned into a book that apparently is on these flash drives. So big question, your client, Courtney Burgess, has been asked to come back on November 12th before the grand jury again. I know he told us it was not a good experience the first time. He felt like they were making him into a criminal. He said he just wanted to help the victims. Why does he have to go back?
Well, we have to finalize the testimony. So I do believe we may be able to waive our appearance in that, where Mr. Burgess might not actually physically have to come back, but there was a rider attached to the subpoena that requested certain documents and videos and evidence that Mr. Burgess had talked about in his interviews prior to the grand jury subpoena, and part of what he was supposed to bring. So they just need to bring that to completion, and that's the purpose for us possibly having to testify further.
Makes sense. So mark your calendar and come on back on the program and let us know what happens next. Ariel Mitchell, I always love having you on. Thank you for this. Appreciate it.
Tanea Wallace Diddy's ex-party planner says that she went to one of Diddy's infamous freak-off events. In an interview with TMZ, she said that she saw individuals she described as little people, dressed in Harajuku-inspired outfits. In her words, these minors were dressed like Harajuku Barbies, red lipstick, looking real sexy.
And I want to start with Tania Wallace, who claims she's been at a freak-off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince. And they ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, you know, among many other things, I mean, she goes into detail. This, she says, happened in 2018. She says that she walked into the house and there was a cluster of adults around what she described as little people. And they were dressed up as Japanese Barbies. I forgot the name. It's Harak something. You can help me out here. It's a certain type of Barbie. Anyway.
I know the name, but I've forgotten it. But go ahead.
So she explained that that they were just clustered around these little people. And I kept pushing her. And she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be at an adult party. And I pushed her, and it was apparent what she was saying is they were minors. Now, she didn't see anything specific that was going on with them other than that adults were kind of huddled around them. But she told just a wild story about what was going on at the house, even at 7 a.m, that this thing apparently raged all night long.
You know, it's amazing. TMZ always gets such great scoops, and this one might be one of your best as well. You got a hold of one of the freak-off tapes. Your producers have seen it. The description is, and I'll quote, "It's porn directed by Diddy himself." And a male sex worker really sort of walks through what happened in the experiences that he had. They didn't sound illegal, but they sure seem to comport with a lot of the other stories that have been told.
Yeah. So the this was a threesome. What you would ask me about earlier about Tania Wallace, she said there were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But this, what you're talking about now, was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. attorney even referenced, and his lawyer in an earlier documentary we did. He was describing threesomes. He says it was all consensual. So yes, what we're told is that this male sex worker was flown out to various locations over a couple of years: Miami, New York, Los Angeles, and one other. And they would meet in hotel rooms, and Diddy would often watch as he would have sex with this woman who was associated with Diddy. So that seems to be what the feds are looking at right now in terms of alleged sex trafficking, if they are transporting somebody and perhaps paying them to cross state lines. That could end up being part of sex trafficking. We know that this guy got a subpoena, and he ended up not testifying before the grand jury, but talking to prosecutors, and we're told that he left that tape with them.
Tony Busby, the lawyer bringing the case against Diddy, says he's going to expose everyone that was connected to Diddy. Diddy didn't work alone. He had people who were allegedly involved in the sexual abuse and helped him cover up his crimes. All of these people are going to be exposed.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
And this is just the beginning. As more evidence comes to light and the case against Diddy unfolds, the industry's darkest secrets are finally being dragged into the spotlight. Usher, Justin Bieber, and everyone tied to Diddy are running out of places to hide. Will these shocking revelations bring justice, or will powerful forces work to bury the truth once again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.